Hey guys, welcome back. I'm top music attorney, Miss Krystle, and this is the Top Music Attorney podcast, the place where you're getting all the education on how to master the entertainment business and stay legally protected Tuesdays and Fridays at 7 p.m. PST, 10 p.m. EST. Guys, as always, the way we structure the show is that we have the newsy segment coming up of all the things that are breaking. We have updates on Britney Spears, Kim Kardashian. There's a lot happening. So we'll be bringing that Orko in, the show producer and my music producer, to discuss all of that. As everyone is filing in, be sure to let me know where you're checking in from. We have Todd on LinkedIn from Seattle. Nice to see you here, Todd. Yeah, so let's just kind of jump into it as people are filing in. Let's do our weekend recap. So I hope everyone had a good weekend. Let me know how things went. And as you guys are, I'm seeing you in the comments. We have everyone filing in from YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. We are just live everywhere. And in fact, I sent my show producer an email over the weekend that he didn't respond to. So this is a friendly little reminder that I want to be able to broadcast this to Instagram. Our platform doesn't do it really, but I think there's a way. I think that we need to hack the tech on how to do this. So yeah, we're gonna talk about this because I want to be able to broadcast to the 125,000 of you on Instagram as we continue to build our little family here. Hello, Pennsylvania, Washington, D.C. All right. Glad to see you guys all here. Australia, of course. Shout out from UK. Hello. All right. So anyway, let's recap on the weekend. This weekend was a little wonky. So for me, on my weekends, it's the time that I can kind of catch up on all things music, right? So in my 9 to 5 kind of job, I am a real entertainment attorney. I have a law firm. Obviously, we run the show during the week on Tuesdays and Fridays, but I am also an artist, musician, and I'm working on my new album. So weekends are the time that I think that my music and producer and I always like struggle because I'm like, yes, it's the weekend. It's the time for us to really go hard and be in the studio and let's work really hard and never sleep. And then he's like, what are you doing? Let's take some time, relax. But in any case, this weekend was we did some good work, but not quite as much as I wanted. And it was because that Orko, my show producer, he was kind of crashing a little. He's kind of crashing. So on the last show, we got into this in the Dairy Queen Blizzard segment because we started talking all about like health and sugar and this and that. And then he was talking about the fact that he had finally cut sugar and fast food and soda and all this crap from his diet because he was diagnosed pre-diabetic. And so, I think that you guys kind of enjoyed that segment just to hear from his standpoint. And a lot of you chimed in about your own kind of struggles with health or just ignoring it altogether. But in any case, as he's been kind of going through this process, because he's been on this new lifestyle with exercising and like not eating crap at all for a couple of weeks, he's kind of detoxing, right? So as you start to lose weight, all the toxins that are stored in your fat tissue release into your body. So, it takes a while for this all to kind of get out. And so most people feel horrible before they start feeling better. So he wasn't feeling so good, but he got through it. In the meantime, I worked on, the business in general, got some music going, went to the gym, and we did watch a little TV. We got, some relaxation time in. David Letterman, he had some different segments with like Cardi B, Will Smith. We're going to talk about that all with that Orko when he comes on a little bit later. Checking in from Arizona. Very nice. Yeah, we won 25, I think. Here, let's check, fam. Let's see what's going on the gram. Because on Top Music Attorney, we've seen a lot of growth, which has been amazing. I think we're like over 35,000 followers on Top Music Attorney on Instagram, but Miss Krystle has also been doing really well. And this probably will play a little bit into what I talk about in like my artist segment. We'll see if I share a little bit of what's going on there. But let me just show you guys. There we go. All right. So okay, we're a little over 125K, but we doing our thing. I kind of like that they let you they let you pin like your favorite posts now, so that's fun. But yeah, my thing is just volume. I've been really focusing on trying to get out a lot of content, so we're posting like 2 times a day on Miss Krystle. Let's see what's going on over on Top Music Attorney. Yeah, so if you just saw as I'm searching this, you saw like my name and a bunch of me's just came up. It's because um my operations manager, what is it? Top Music Attorney. My operations manager let me know that there's a bunch of fakers out there. There's a bunch of Miss Krystle fakers. Okay, am I crazy here? What's going on? All right, I'm gonna figure this out. But in any case, there's a bunch of fakers out there, and we all need to just be aware of them. And and so we're just gonna file some takedown notices, and that's what's gonna happen. All right, so Top Music Attorney, Instagramming, yeah, we a little over 35K there as well. So guys, if you're watching this, if you're an artist, a business owner, entrepreneur, whatever, the thing is you got to put out content and you got to figure out what people like and all of that. I'll give this a special highlight. So this is Professor Fordham from law school, and you can read a little bit more of the description that I put. But Mr. Fordham or Professor Fordham passed in 2020, but he was absolutely one of my favorite professors. And I was doing some stuff over the weekend having to do with like my student loans. So I was digging into my memories and digging into resumes and past, and I found this beautiful letter of recommendation that he had written for me. And this guy is so amazing. His quick story is just when he was 18, he was crossing the road and this lady hit him. Of course, just a horrible accident, left him partially paralyzed. But within like a year, he had decided it wasn't going to stop him. He went on to college. He went on to law school. He went on to become a law school professor. And like pretty much every person, including myself, that took his class was so inspired. I mean, you know how it is. You just have one of those professors that just changes your life. So I ended up being like his teaching assistant and, getting tutoring from him and all kinds of things. So really, really amazing person. Yeah. Thanks, Brett, on Facebook. Hello, Serbia, Maryland. We have another Arizona. When does your tape drop? I don't know what that means. That Orko, let me know if you know what that means. We were talking about my tape, how I used to wear like my Band-Aid and my tape on my face all the time. And I haven't been doing that. Oh, album. You like my like old school. So when does my album drop? Well, we're finishing it right now. And in fact, I'll just use that to segue into something I tried to be superhuman this week, right? So we announce what it is at the beginning of the week, and then on Friday we talk about whether we successfully did the thing, whether we failed, whatever. So for this week, I kind of started it yesterday, and I talked about this in my stories on Miss Krystle Instagram. But I was talking about the fact that we're recording the new album and I'm working so hard to get my voice retrained because I'm realizing that after, a long time being a singer that I sing like this. I sing with so much tension and just contortion and terrible things happening in my voice. And it's always very painful. And so I'm finally learning these techniques to sing properly. And so as we were kind of recording yesterday, we took me out of the booth. I'm no longer in the booth anymore. I'm in the middle of the room, with just like the microphone and my headphones. And, so I have different scenery. I have a different way that I'm singing. And it's kind of like this rebirthing, which is amazing. So if you guys are obviously in the music industry and doing your thing, when you can find those little tweaks, it's really amazing. So on something I'm trying this week, it's specifically working on relaxing my tongue. So my tongue has been getting in the way of my life. And specifically like the base of my tongue. And it's been doing all kinds of stuff it wasn't supposed to be doing that I just discovered. So we are singing with pencils in our mouths. We are doing weird shit as we're driving. So people are looking at us, but you know what? Gotta do what you gotta do. All right, more check-ins coming in. California, Pennsylvania. Yay for new music. Yeah, the picture, I'm assuming one of my legal assistant, he's like, I saw the picture you posted of you and your professor. He's like, you look like a baby. I'll take it. All right, we have a digital marketer. Very nice. Yeah, so when it comes to digital marketing for any business, anyone in the entertainment industry, it's very, very important. David on Facebook says proper vocal technique can add years to a career, decades in some cases. Yeah, and I just remember always hearing that, like with opera singers, and you listen to like Kelly Clarkson, and you have these singers who just kind of open their mouths, and it's just magical and beautiful, and they seem like they're doing nothing. And in a way, with proper speaking technique, with proper singing technique, that's kind of what it is. You're supposed to allow just kind of air to flow through you. And I'm like, that's just so not what I've been doing at all. Yikes. I guess better late than never. All right, very nice. So as I said, I'm a real life entertainment attorney. So during the day, I'm, working on cases, I'm talking to clients. I had a client today out of New York. Really, really sweet, sweet girl. Just talking about her music career and singing and all kinds of things. So I guess with that being said, let me transition this over a little bit. As always, in the comments, feel free to drop your questions, your comments, any of the above. We're going to do a little intro thing, and then we're going to get right into our next segment. Here we go. Hi guys, I'm top music attorney Miss Krystle. I'm an entertainment attorney, public speaker, and creator of the Top Music Attorney School for artists and record labels. I'm the owner of Dukes Up Records, and most importantly, I'm an independent artist. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on those bell notifications so you don't miss my weekly videos giving you my best tips on the music business, industry news updates, and teaching you how to stay legally protected.
Let's go.
Alrighty, so in today's artist video tip, how should we say that? I think it should be, let's just do that. In today's artist tip video, I'm going to be discussing music artist producer contracts. This literally came up as one of my consultations today. It's something that I go over many a times with artists and producers, and so that's why I wanted to hone in and give you guys all the juicy details so you can have it for free. And I'm going to break this into kind of different segments as far as each portion that we're going to hit, and you kind of both perspectives, right? So if you're watching this and you are an independent artist, if you are watching this and you are a music producer, I'll show you or talk about the thing, and then I'll give you both sides on the best way to negotiate it, what to look out for, what to think about. So I'll treat this as if, we're doing a consultation at my office, and it doesn't really matter if you're an artist or a producer. We're gonna hit it all. All right, here we go. So number one, when it comes to music artist producer contracts, rates. Okay, how much should you charge? Now I'm gonna start with the independent artists. All right, so when it comes to kind of what's common, it's not so much that there's, industry standard, right? So we're talking about independent rates, which means you can be all over the place, right? Because there are independent artists who are putting out songs and getting 50 million plays on Spotify. There are other artists that put out songs and get 2, plays. So there's a big range of what it means to be an independent artist now. But for example, when it comes to being an independent artist, common rates that I see are maybe between like $500 and $3,000. And that might be just kind of a flat rate. Okay, so you'll say, I'll come in, I'll do a studio session, right? It's going to be a couple hours. There might be retakes. I might come back a second day or something. But my flat rate all in for the song on the low end is going to be $500. As an artist, as you kind of build and you scale with your fan following, with your general resume of stuff you've done, obviously that's what you use to leverage to get more. If you can bring some fans to the table for a music producer and you say, okay, cool, let's do a collab. I'm going to make sure to promote this as part of my fee. And, and in exchange, I'm going to get you some views and plays on the song because of my celebrity status. Therefore, that artist can definitely charge a little bit more. If it's a no-name kind of artist, they're still obviously doing the work, the performance. And so maybe a lower rate would make more sense in that kind of scenario. Now, I think that's usually from the standpoint of a music producer. Obviously, you're going to want to pay, as least as you can, because obviously you have, your overall budget you got to pay attention to. But let's flip it. If you're the music producer, right, and so now the independent artist is trying to hire a producer to produce a song, those rates are actually pretty common. As far as a producer might charge something as low as $500 for the song, all the way up to a couple grand per song. And it goes to the same kinds of things. Obviously, we don't expect the producers to be rock stars. There are a lot of rock star producers, right, who become famous on TikTok because they're doing their marketing well. But a lot of times, I think the biggest resume piece that we look at for producers is what have they done? Who have they worked with, right? Do they have any hit songs, or have they had, collaborations that have gone viral or done really well? And then, of course, just with either side, you can always just say, this is my rate, right? This is what I feel comfortable charging to kind of provide these services. As a music producer, though, the time commitment put into a song, and we're going to talk about the different ways that you can do these deals, right? It's from licensing beats to all out, rates or purchases, I should say. But right now, I'm just strictly talking about like all in flat rates that either side can set. All right. So then, from the producer's standpoint, if someone is just hiring the producer to produce a song, the producer is not going to have any back end participation, then the rates are usually going to be a little bit higher. Where there's sometimes room for negotiation on both sides is if there's something in addition to the flat rate. Okay, so if we are providing the other side back end profit participation or points, and so you say, cool, I'm going to throw you $1,000 for your time. I appreciate it. That's flat. And I'll also give you, it could be something as small as 2 to 3 points or percentage, right? Which is just, it translates to 2 to 3% of income. So any income that the music makes, if it becomes a huge hit, you are guaranteed 2 to 3% of those earnings. But that's an adjustable scale. If, for example, you say, hey, I need that homie hookup, right? I need you to produce my track and let me own it and all this stuff. And, I only have like a couple $100 to pay you. I got $50 to pay you. I don't know what it is. But in exchange for that, I'm going to give you 50% of revenue on the back end. That's another way that you could do it, right? So it's just kind of what each side wants. But as far as having just very clean flat rates, I don't do back end profit participation. That's cool. You can do it that way, but just understand there's room for negotiation. So that's number one when it comes to music artist producer contracts, setting the rates. Okay, and what's common. Then number two in music artist producer contracts, let's talk about ownership. So in the first scenario, very often, we're doing straight kind of buyouts, so to speak, right? So we want to hire, let's say, a producer if we're independent artists, and we're hiring the producer to make the song because we're going to own it outright. Okay, even if we're giving the producer some back end profit participation, it's still going to be owned by the independent artist. And then on the flip side, if it's the producer and the producer is hiring a studio musician, a vocalist, right, someone just to perform on the song, then, same thing. The producer can say, cool, I'm going to pay you this amount. I want to be clear that I own this outright. And, maybe I'll give you some back end profit participation. For me, one of the biggest things that I care about is that ownership piece. Okay, so to the extent that, either side, whichever one you're on, you want to try to have as much ownership as possible to control the ownership. So, with my project, for example, for as long as I can remember, I either own 100% of my music, or if I did share any kind of ownership with my producer, then it's clear in our agreement that I retain all administrative rights because it's my project, it's my music, it's my everything. And so I'll say, all right, cool. You get this percentage. I paid you this much. You own this much in the song if I do something with it. But you don't get to go and release it without letting me know. You don't get to do anything with it without letting me know. So that's something that I make super clear as the artist. But, as a music producer watching this, you might also keep in mind, music producers do this as well, right? They release producer albums, right? And so they'll have featured artists. And so they're marketing themselves as kind of producer artists. So there's a lot of different ways to do this. The best rule of thumb is to always try to have some piece of the ownership whenever possible. But at a worst case scenario, make sure you just negotiate that you're at least getting some back end points. Okay, if a song blows up and literally this has happened to clients of mine, a song blows up and you only got paid that $500 and now it's making a lot more. And had you just gotten a few points on the back end, you would have been participating. It's like a bad situation to be in that you kind of have to live with as the super hit song continues to age well and all of that. So, good rule of thumb as far as the ownership and just, understanding a little bit about how that works. All right, so moving on, when it comes to music artist producer contracts, the next piece of this has to do with payments. So let's talk really fast about, whoever is in charge of receiving all the money and then having to pay it to the other side. If you are the independent artist, it's your song, but you agreed to give the music producer some points or 50% revenue. Well, that means you got to pay that producer. So something to kind of discuss, and vice versa, right? If you're the producer, you're getting paid, you have to pay the artist. Something to discuss is how often are you going to make payments throughout the year? My best rule of thumb on this, if you can make it just one time a year. It's an annual payment, okay? Because if the song is not making a ton of money, you don't want the pain in the ass of having to go and do all this administrative work. So make it one time and at most 4 times, right? So music distributors pay quarterly. If you're getting paid 4 times a year, you can say if it reaches a certain threshold, as long as you've made at least $100 for your share, I'll do the paperwork, whatever, and I'll send you your share. Okay, so my best kind of set thing for independent level agreements is at least 1 time a year, no more than 4 times a year. All right, and then the other really big piece of this, okay, the other really big piece of this is to have contracts. A lot of what I just went through is going to be close to meaningless. Okay, we can have verbal agreements where you and I agree to something verbally, and then if someone breaks through, the rules of what we agreed to, I'm taking you to court. But the best thing is to actually put it in writing. It's not that hard, and I'm going to tell you how easy this is going to be. So when you work with someone, you want to make sure you have a collaboration agreement. The collaboration agreement is going to say what's being charged, what are the rates. It's going to say who owns what, who's getting back-end profit participation, how are the payments being made. It's going to say all that stuff. And you're going to do it as, again, in the framework of a collaboration agreement. Now, obviously Google, I'm sure you can find something, but I've literally put this as a free template in my book, which is How to Keep Your Dukes Up in the Music Business. And it's a digital download that you can literally get right now. Okay. Now, as far as when I was even talking to one of my clients earlier today, I'm like, if you were to hire my law firm to draft you this contract or any other law firm, they would charge you a 2-hour retainer and it'd cost you $700. It's included with like 7 other contracts in this book for free because I don't need your money. I need you guys staying legally protected. So if I need to make it $1 just to make a point with this, and at some point I will, but for $25, it's well worth it. So make sure you go and you get a copy. You can do that at topmusicattorney.com. And, besides that, there's a lot of free stuff that you can go through as well. I teach you about, understanding contracts for free. There's a course there. And even if you want to build like your own record label, there's a free course on that as well. So make sure you go to topmusicattorney.com. And that's your guys' overview on music artist producer contracts. All right, let's go back to the chitty chat and see what's popping. All right, David, independent artist, singer, songwriter. I'm not signed anywhere, but no one wants to sign me either. That was a question that kind of came up. It's like, when do you know that you should sign? When's a good time to sign with a company or a label? And a part of it does come with when they're seeking you out. And they do that after you've built yourself up, right? People only want what's kind of like, on the silver platter and handed and be like, hey, I already did all this work. And then a record label's like, cool, I'm going to swoosh in and I'm going to take ownership of your music and your name. And, so as far as the best practice is to build yourself up, get your social media going, get the F on every single social media platform, right? So even if you do like one TikTok, right, distribute that TikTok in every single platform, like really get yourself out there. I mean, I can't even tell you how many things that I post just trying stuff. And some of it fails miserably. Some of it does way better than I anticipated. And, at the end of the day, it all kind of doesn't matter as far as me putting like my personal, credibility or feelings into it. whatever stuff does is what it does. I just use it as market research to see what my audience wants. That's what I care about. I just want to make stuff that my audience likes, from the marketing of my content to now my music as well. All right, CJ on YouTube, singing in front of a match, trying to be powerful with the voice without allowing the match flame to flicker was a hard one to get right. I feel like I saw that on TikTok. I feel like that was a challenge or something. I might have to take a look. Winston on YouTube, glad to see you here. Krystle Kent, mild manner entertainment attorney by day, badass artist at night. Take your pick, Wonder Woman or Superwoman. Stop it. You guys say very nice things and you make me smile, and I appreciate it. Chris, most of the artists that I know and work with range from about 100 to 1,000 for a feature. Yeah, absolutely. And there's so many places, especially online, where people will just kind of whoop you out something really fast, and they have all kinds of great rates. So, what I've seen is very specific to kind of what I've seen with my artists, with my producers, and even, quite frankly, because of where I live. All right, Winston has a question. Let's see. What are the most common contract mistakes that drive you crazy when artists sign contracts without proper representation? Just stuff that's missed. That, when you are signing something that's going to impact the next 5 years of your life and the ownership of your music and the ownership of your music videos, that you didn't spend a couple $100s to hire someone to make sure that you didn't make the biggest mistake of your life. And 100% of the time, the people who learn that they absolutely need to have an entertainment attorney are the people who make that mistake. And, so my goal is to continue to reiterate the importance of having an entertainment attorney and trying to avoid it. But, some people just have to make the mistake and then they learn, and then they're very much committed to making that investment to have someone to protect them. Gotta always, always get it in writing. All right, on Facebook, Kentucky Paul says, hello, hello, hello. I had this really nice, so there was a Timothy who left a recommendation on one of these reaction channels, and Timothy had asked them to react to my music video, Angels in the Valley. I posted that over the weekend in my stories. It was very nice. You never know if people are going to like your stuff or not, but it was a very nice reaction video. All right, CJ, it's worth buying the book just for the contracts, but the book also has much useful information, tips, and tricks. It's so worth it. Yeah, I appreciate that very much. Thank you. When it comes to kind of this book, it's like the A to Z on how to have a successful music career, right? So I sat down, like, from the live shows to setting up your merch to doing collaborations to getting your music in TV and film. I really went through every possible thing I could think about, as branding and copyrights and trademarks, and just so that you guys would have some digestible information about what all this means, how it all works together, because, I'm trying to empower you guys. I want you to think like businesses, like badass, business owners. And so even if you do deals with record labels, cool. But now you're in a way better position to stay legally protected. So yeah, even if you don't get the book, you should get the book. It's only $25, and the contracts you get are valued very, very much higher than that. But even if you don't, there are a bunch of free stuff on topmusicattorney.com. So Dave on Facebook asked, am I going to drop a metal album next? I'm kind of getting out some of my rock and metal love for artists and and bands. I did that on my last EP. EP number 2 has a lot of rock covers. So I'm kind of getting it out that way. All right, let's do just a couple more questions, and then we're going to bring that Orko in. On Facebook, amazing lifestyle. The book is outstanding. I recommend it to so many people. Oh, thank you so much. You guys are so sweet. Keep doing your thing. You're motivational. Thank you very much. That means a lot. You guys are awesome. All right, Kurt. Do you think of my Michael Jackson jackets that I don't think I've seen those yet. I might have to take a peek. Okay, so yeah, a little off topic, Kurt, but I'll have to take a peek at that. All right, so we're gonna bring in that Orko now. Hello, Fred.
Hey, what's going on? Shout out to the community. Thank you guys for being here. First off, I just want to.
Yeah, no,
what's going?
I'm just gonna say the audience. I never really give him notice of when I'm gonna bring him in, so I'm half expect or hoping to, like, catch him, you know what I'm saying? He's,
You
like,
have
half
to.
asleep, he's, like, running back from just putting on a shirt or something. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, there's a whole situation that happens over here. Um, but yeah, no, I just wanted to say, shout out to the community. I appreciate you all being here. As you know, we do broadcast. We're broadcasting to a couple Facebook pages, to YouTube. So if we don't see you in the comments, we're trying to get to them all. But make sure that you are joining the community over here at Top Music Attorney on YouTube. This is the main hub where we, really release most of the content from. We have a lot of exciting things coming up, but just remind you, we are here every Tuesday and Friday at 7 p.m. And something I'm real excited about, we're going to start doing on-air artist reviews.
Yes, yes, yes.
We took another step today towards making that a reality very soon. So we're soon going to have a place to submit. But if you are an independent artist and you want to get submitted into the show, we'll have you on air. We'll take a look at your account. We'll listen to some of your music or watch one of your music videos. We'll answer your questions. Obviously, you have an entertainment attorney's perspective, and then I'm a music producer and I know a thing or two. So it's just a really great opportunity, just to get out to the crowd. So we'll have a place, but if you're going to be interested in submitting, we're going to be releasing a place that you can do that very soon. But I suggest highly that you just stay locked into Top Music Attorney on another social media platform, probably Instagram. Facebook is good too, but Instagram has the reach right now. So you'll know where to submit as soon as we're ready to announce that. But it's coming soon and it's going to be really fun. I can't wait for this to see what the crowd's got.
The weekend recap, and we were watching David Letterman, and so we watched the segments for Will Smith, Cardi B, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus. So I thought we'd talk about that for a second. Let's start with Will Smith. So the interview that they did with Will Smith was recorded before, obviously, the slap
The infamous.
fiasco. um, but I think obviously that was good clickbait for them to still release it. So preface: we are both definitely fans of Will Smith.
Yeah.
And so we covered the slap and our opinions on that and that kind of thing. But just focusing on the interview, I thought it was a really good interview. And for me, the biggest takeaway is that Will Smith has really struggled, I think, his entire life to kind of find the safety within himself. And so he talked a lot about the different journeys that he's been on to try to just find that safety, that comfort. And so for someone who's just like so successful, and seemingly well put together and, okay by all accounts, it was cool to kind of hear him say something so human as, I'm like trying to figure that out.
Yeah, no, I really love the interview. I'm a big Will Smith fan. I've been I took a look back, and I've been a Will Smith fan since I was like 8 years old. And I went through the He's the DJ, I'm the Rapper album over the weekend as well. What with this, the Oscar slap aside, I think that was an unfortunate situation that, he lost himself. That's no excuse. And I mean, he definitely deserves some kind of, whatever, like it can't slide, but that doesn't really change my opinion of him as, as a person, as an actor. And he's so inspirational, and to speak to the insecurities that he felt in himself, and just the way that overachievers push themselves, like, it's really cool because on the outside we see them as just these stars that are rich and famous, and oh my god, they must have everything. But that internal struggle is real, you know what I mean? And that drive. So I
And
can
he's
relate.
funny. He's very funny, when he's doing interviews and he's like
Oh, he's one
putting
of the
on
funniest
little
people on the
bits
planet.
and
He's
it
hilarious.
was really good. So before we let's talk about the Cardi B interview, but really fast, there was a artist question. So Dave on Facebook. So say someone puts an album on SoundCloud Reverb, didn't get it copyrighted, and someone steals it. Obviously, there's proof of the upload dates. Could another person like legally sue, whatever? So the answer is, in the United States, you have copyright protection as soon as you make the thing. Okay, so just because you distributed it, you published it, right? So now we have like notice to the rest of the world. They've seen your works or whoever saw it. You can still move forward for a copyright infringement claim, but you got to make sure you actually get a federal registration, right? It's like $65. Go through the copyright.org, get that registration. So as soon as you have the piece of paper confirming, hey, this is my album, you can go to court, sue, get your money. But if you don't actually get that piece of paper, you're gonna have problems actually utilizing the court. But the good news is that you have copyright as soon as you make the song. All right, so let's move over. So with Cardi B, this one was kind of interesting. We kind of both walked away, and you more than me, because I like Cardi B. You know, set aside, anything that someone might say about how kind of maybe out there and brazen or whatever. I think she's fabulous. I like that she is willing to do everything that she does. And from that standpoint, I support her. But in the actual interview, she kind of talked about some more political stuff. And they got into, I mean, she's a real smart girl. She's a
Yeah.
businesswoman.
I kind of fell into the camp where it's just I've only seen her, TV personality, just kind of how she is, and it's just for me sometimes it can be a bit much. And I remember we were watching those whatever that Netflix show is where she was on that rap battle thing with like Ti and Chance the Rapper. And I don't know,
Yeah.
it was just a lot. But I found her to be delightful on this David Letterman show. My Guest Needs No Introduction or whatever it's called on Netflix. She is so smart, and I never doubted her intelligence, but just when she's just kind of just like not being Cardi B, I guess, just being whatever her just being herself and just kind of just doing her thing. Like, she is so smart and she is so thoughtful and caring, and I found her story to be very inspirational, and I walked away watching that interview just having a completely different opinion. And now I'm more interested in Cardi B because I think she's very interesting. So I have no problem with her music, so it's not like any shade on music. I'm talking about just her as just like in interviews and as like a host. Like, she's always on, and it's a lot. But in this interview where it's like, I think it's like an hour and some change maybe. Yeah, no, she's
It was like 45
fantastic.
minutes. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
good. It was good. All right, here. Winston had a question before we get to the last recap interview. What would you advise Will Smith when he wanted to bring his children to the movies he starred and produced? Inherent danger of having artist kids in the same project. I don't know if you're referring to something specifically, but when it comes to just
that movie, I think he's referring to the one that he was in with Jaden, where I think he was like a homeless guy. I can't think of what the name of that movie was.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, look, we talk about this when it comes to
I
minors
might
in
have that
show
wrong.
business. And if that's, well, either way, right? So minors in businesses or in the entertainment business, and the enforceability of contracts that they sign, right? When they don't have capacity, parents sign on their behalf. And we talked about it in other live streams, how in some states, those contracts can be voided by those kids when they turn 18. In other states like California, they want to enforce those contracts. We don't want no problems. And then, when it comes to just on set and your obligations, I've had kids on my music videos, and you not only need to have the proper, liability waivers, but mom needs to be there the whole time. No problems. And we need to make sure everyone's staying safe. So that's my 2 cents on it.
Yeah, no, yeah, just that, and just feeling that, personal, responsibility to just making sure that they're okay and they're just not just interacting with random people. I don't know. It's a lot of responsibility to have children on a set, and the times that we have, especially we had a video we did where called Focused All Night, where we shot this. It was like a zombie video where Miss Krystle was like, where in this video is a twist because the zombies were afraid of Miss Krystle instead of Miss Krystle being afraid of the zombies. And
That's
we
right.
rented out this closed
Water park.
water park. It was
Mhm.
awesome. Anyway, but we had children in there that were also dressed as zombies, and so like, you have to explain to the parents, what this is all for, how they're going to be filmed, what the context of what the lyrics of the music are. You know what I mean? Like, just I don't know. You just want to make sure that everybody is very comfortable when you're dealing with minors.
100%. All right. So the last interview that we watched was with Julia Dreyfus. So
Julia Louis-Dreyfus, yeah.
Seinfeld, and my personal favorite, Veep. If you guys haven't
Oh my
seen
God.
Veep, it's like one of the only shows that I've watched multiple times over. Who has time for that? But I've made time for it because it's so good. So she is a disgruntled sad, angry vice president. And that's basically it. It's just showing her day-to-day life and how she deals with things and how she has to be a politician. And she's so good in the role. But
Right.
anyway, the
It's
re
one of the best shows. It's one of the best shows ever, and I know that for me, my mom stays away from Veep. I've tried to get her to watch it a billion times, but she just thinks it's just so political that she's just afraid of something just triggering her or something. I don't know. That's what I assume. I'm putting way too much of myself out there. But like what so if somebody is in the crowd that hasn't watched Veep yet because you're thinking the same way, it's not really like a party. Like it doesn't it's not
yeah,
how
it
it
doesn't
works. It's
draw
just
party lines. Yeah, yeah.
right. It's very, it goes into the inner workings of politics without you really knowing, like, it's not like a Republican versus Democrat or making somebody look horrible versus, you know what I mean? It's just, it's an amazingly written show.
Yes. All right. So with that all being said, let's move
Oh,
now into our
I just wanted to say
newsy.
one more thing about that, about the Julia Louis Dreyfus thing. I just wanted to just mention, I recommend this episode very much so, because this particular one on the David Letterman Netflix special, because she tells this story about how she was in the water,
Yeah,
and and her husband,
like scuba
where she was
diving. She was in
scuba
the ocean.
diving. Yeah, she sorry, I'm not making it
She's
dramatic.
in the she's in the pool.
She's scuba diving in the ocean, and
Yes.
her husband calls out to her, and she's just, she's very scared, scared doing it anyway. But she's in the ocean, and her husband calls out, like, don't be alarmed, but there's a shark in the ocean and you need to come back to the boat right now. And she tells the story of how she just didn't panic, she didn't do anything, she just stared at the ladder of the boat and just kept swimming, and she didn't look back, she didn't look around her, she didn't think about anything else but just focus on that ladder. And I found, and she got, obviously was safe. And that, I found that to be so incredibly inspiring. I was having a really hard time this weekend with my pre-diabetic diet and just going through it. Like, it's hard. Like, I was very, Miss Krystle was saying that maybe I was going through withdrawals, and I mean, there was something happening. I definitely crashed. And I found it to be inspiring to, to start again on Monday with this whole, like, I just got to get to the ladder. And, the ladder's obviously getting my, my levels right and all that kind of thing. But it's been hard. I was doing real good. And then this weekend hit a severe lull for me.
No, and
But I'm pulling it back up. I'm pulling it back
like I
up
was
though.
saying though, for as someone that's actually dealt with long-term chronic issues and been debilitated for years on end and things like that, I know from personal experience that it's just part of the body's healing process. As the bad stuff comes out, you feel bad, but then you get over that hump. And so her analogy by itself is amazing, but then she
Oh my
used
God.
it as the analogy for her breast cancer. She goes, so that's what I thought, if I treated it in the same kind of way. My breast cancer wasn't looking at the threat, I was going to die. It was, I just needed to get to the ladder. And then she was able to beat her breast cancer. So no, I'm glad you reminded me of that story. It was incredible.
Incredible woman, incredible story, incredible show. Veep. I love Seinfeld. I mean, she's just incredible. She's incredible. So,
Yeah.
very cool.
All right. So now we'll move on.
Now let's do it.
All right. So in our Newsies segment, we are starting off. Britney Spears' ex tried to get into her bedroom, and this was the day of her wedding. Okay, so we covered this already, and we might go through the video again. But her ex, who she was married to for like less than 3 days, Jason Alexander, he went on the property, and we now know that he'd actually been kind of like stalking around days leading up to it as well. Okay, but he actually went on the property the day of. He's running around for like several minutes, at least that he was live streaming. And he's like, where's Britney? Where's Britney? Security sees him. No one does anything. And they're just kind of allowing him to continue running around. So we had Timothy Collier on with us on that segment, and he does civil litigation, criminal law. And so we're talking about the liability of her security, of like, why didn't they tackle this guy? He could have had a weapon. Well,
Mm.
turns out he did. So when he was arrested, the cops found that he, in fact, had a knife on him. And
Well, there's conflicting stories. Because was it a knife or was it a box cutter? Because I'm reading that, I've read another article that it was a box cutter. I mean, are we splitting hairs about whether it's a box cutter or it's a
all I
knife?
care about is that if there's something he could have used to hurt Britney, because he actually did make it to her door.
That's the story is crazy. The story is crazy. And the craziest part that I heard about it was the fact, or the best part was, because who had to testify was former security guard, because her
Yeah,
security
no,
staff
the fired security
fired.
guard.
They got dunzo, and well, so, because the story that they were telling was, he'd actually gotten to her bedroom door and tried to unlock it, and was like knocking on it, like how I thought from the impression that I got, he was just kind of made his way in. He got into a little catering area, and then he was just kind of walking around, like around the front kind of area, and he got in a little bit. I didn't know that he got into the house, was knocking on doors, and then like
Well, no,
security,
and
they were having a conversation with him. They had already,
yeah.
seen him a few times. So I mean, the fact that they got fired and nothing happened to Britney, like, is
No,
not
so
the
we were
grace of
talking
God.
about potential liability, right? So that security, private security being retained their job, the contract says you are supposed to protect, I'm assuming, Britney Spears and anyone else that she named. And they failed to do that, right? So there was potentially some negligence, but I want to just pull up the video really fast so we can just watch this a little bit again. So I'll turn down the volume. But as Jason is running around, it's a little bit blurry, but he's live streaming this whole time. Okay, so he goes on the property. And I'm going to jump forward just a little bit because you see him enter the house and he actually, runs by someone who's like sitting outside. He goes in. We're going to
Oh
see
my
the
god.
stairs. You know what I'm saying? So, like, Brittany's like, what, 20 feet away at this point? He's running up. Like, he seems to know where he's going too, right? He's not kind of like creeping around. He's like running all over the
Well,
place.
hold on. Now, if you're playing this like a video game, the way it ran back, the way he was going, yes, it looked like he knew where he was going, but I mean, that's kind of just the path. I think you just let me go right.
No,
Just
but I'm just saying, if I'm in a place that I've never been before, or I'm otherwise kind of nervous, I'm probably
Yeah, it was
walking a little bit
confidence.
slower. I'm looking around, like if someone's about to
It was
shoot
confidence.
me. That's me. But let's go back to this. So here he goes, and there is security now actually showing a weapon, and they haven't
He's-
grabbed him. They haven't forcibly, took control of him to actually, take him out of the house. So now he's voluntarily just walking around the outside of the house. He's acknowledging more people as he's going by. So my biggest concern was that he was not known. There was security, and he's actually in the ceremony area now. So I'm just saying, obviously this is pretty scary in general, but he could have been anyone. And we're going to talk
no,
about what
it's
actually happened to him.
no. I mean,
Because
that's insane. Like, it's insane. Like, I don't know. I don't even know how that happens. A, B, why these security guards don't have handcuffs, and at the very least just or tasers, and tase this guy as soon as they saw him.
yeah.
Like, I don't know if he was on a previous list.
No, and so here's
Um,
here's after he had finally been taken down, right? So, they did eventually get him. The police had been called. He did eventually get arrested. And so a part of what we're, covering today is the update in that, he's in jail. He appeared in front of the judge. There's $100,000 bond, and he pled not guilty, which is standard practice, right? So plead not guilty, and then a couple things will happen, right? So you plead not guilty, and then you have to go through a little discovery where the prosecutor now is going to look at, for example, his live stream footage, right, that he made. Any, if there's body cam footage or security cameras on the property, but they'll go through a little discovery, and then, Jason's attorney might file, a request saying, hey, like basically we want a lesser charge because I think it's a felony that they're being for felony
yeah,
stalking.
yeah. That's what I read. Felony stalking specifically. So
Yeah, so this could go to trial, and that's obviously what the articles are, clickbaity. This could go to trial, but oftentimes it's kind of our version of settled out, but that he'll take a plea deal for a lesser sentence.
I don't know. Security being fired, man. That's that, of course. But I mean, like, I mean, I hope her next security team, like, they have different kinds of, standard of orders. Because I mean, the fact that he got as far as he did, the fact that they were having a conversation and escorting him, and he was still moving about. I mean, she is high profile, like, high profile. They need to treat that like it's the president. Like, go ahead and get some handcuffs, some kind, or at least those what are those, zip ties, and zip tie his hands back. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, no, you can do a lot in protection of, person or
Especially when
property.
they're in the
Wh-
house.
I don't think I pull this one. Winston, you make me laugh. Orca would have body slammed him, or Miss K would have shot him.
Now listen, Miss K has quite the shot too. We went to a gun
Ah,
range, and while I did not have the most comfortable time at the gun range because I didn't like the staff, I'm not going to mention who it was, but uh, Miss K, as you put it, she was hitting those targets. She was hitting those papers, shredding them up
mhm,
like a hole
mhm.
puncher.
Yeah, he thinks that she still wants to be with him. Yes, those dreaded exes and those 3-day marriages. It can get real confusing. So anyway, that's where we'll leave it for now, but we will continue to follow the story as updates come.
Yeah, I'm always rooting for Britney.
Yeah, she's got a lot of exciting stuff happening. All right, so let's turn this over. Kim Kardashian sued over her trademark or alleged trademark skin, which is SKKN. We'll talk about that. And she's saying she's getting shaken down. All right, so there's another trademark owner that is alleging that she had been using that same trademark skin with a plus sign in front of it. Now, you know me, I'm not just going to read an article. We're doing a deep dive. So I actually looked up these trademark applications to go, something's fishy here. Something isn't quite right. So I looked into
And
this.
it's not the whale blubber in the lipstick.
Oh my
Or
gosh,
did they
is there?
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know if they still do that. I mean, isn't that what makeup
Oh
is made from?
dear.
Like
Well, I know that for a lot of celebrities, they make a big push to be like, this is vegan. Obviously,
vegan, right?
the creator is not in
I'm
fact
pretty
vegan,
sure.
but maybe that's where that comes from. That's just terrible. Okay. But in any case, so what I did, let me pull this up on my screen. All right, so I went to the actual trademark office website. Let me show you this. Oops, oops,
Now
oops. There we go.
this other company isn't called Skin, but they're a beauty company, right?
Yeah, and so when you file for a trademark, you don't have to. The company name doesn't have to be the trademark. You have to be just using the trademark. And so I'm going to read the statement by the attorney as far as their argument. But let me just show you what this looks like. So her attorney filed some, like, I would say 20. So all these are Skin by
Yeah.
Kim, right?
Smart.
And so you have a bunch that are live and pending. That's what that means. They have not registered yet. Nothing has been approved. And there's a couple that she's abandoned. That's why it says dead. So the thing that popped out to me is that, all right, so here we go. This is the application that was filed by the other business owner, who is Beauty Concepts LLC. And then the thing you guys want
Hmm.
to pay attention to in these applications. Oh, and you know what? Actually, I just realized it didn't come on screen. I'm so sorry. I'm like looking at something that you guys don't even see right now. Let me just pull this up. I'm not sure why this didn't go down, and it's still not showing. All right, we're
What
just
are you
going to
looking
talk
for?
about this while I bring it up. So, as far as when it comes to the actual application, you have to say, when did you first start using the thing? And in this application that I'm trying to show you guys, here we go. It goes as early as August 1st, 2018. Okay, the reason that matters is that if you look at the other applications that we were examining for Kim Kardashian, it showed that she had filed in March of this year. Okay, so for all the applications. So a big part of the argument is going to be whoever used the thing first wins.
First.
That's kind of how it works in the United States. If you can show that you were using it first, you have a superior claim and you can get the other side to stop. But the attorney saying that this is a big shakedown, and they're trying to pull some funny business. All right, so let me go to the funny business statement. Here we go.
Ha 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 ha.
All right, so the attorney says this lawsuit is not what it seems. Skin by Kim is a brand that followed in the footsteps of Miss Kardashian's successful KKW line of products. Building on independent research and development, her company filed a trademark application for Skin by Kim to protect the branded products. This prompted the current shakedown effort. Okay, so they're saying, no, no, no. This isn't a matter of they were already using it, right, as they're kind of claiming. And then we came in and now we're just trying to bully them, as a big global empire. So let's go back. Mid last year, we received a letter from Beauty Concepts, an esthetician studio in Brooklyn owned by Miss Lunsford. We applaud Miss Lund for this is where he says something nice, right? We applaud her for being a small business owner, following her dreams, but that doesn't give her the right to wrongfully claim that we've done something wrong. In the letter that her company sent on the rights to the logo, saying that they owned Skin Plus and had filed for trademark protection for that logo. The business was a one-person shop offering facials at a single Brooklyn location. The salon had no signage and was by appointment only. To our knowledge, Beauty Concepts sold no products under the Skin Plus name. So when it comes to kind of this argument of like who's going to win, who has priority, who used it first, they're saying, well, this is kind of almost fraudulent because they weren't actually selling any beauty products under the
Right.
same. Okay, so that's where the problem comes in. All right, so let me give you a quick summary on the remainder of this. So basically, he goes on to say that unless they even though we tried several times to come up with a resolution to coexist, it wouldn't work unless we were paid, as he says, a lot of money. Now, he's not going to disclose settlement communications, but we've seen things like pay me $10 million and I will let you have the name.
Right.
So this Beauty Concepts, and I'm not casting judgment as far as being like, oh, this is definitely a sham and a shakedown. Who knows? Maybe they were using it. Maybe they were selling these products. They have to prove all of that in their lawsuit. And if so, they may have priority. They may be first to be able to say, I used it, I own it, and they may win. And in which case, Kim Kardashian is going to have to stop distributing all of her products. But, obviously their position is no, that's not the case. You don't own it, and I get to use it.
Yeah, no, I mean it's pretty crazy. I saw that it was going to be a little bit different for me sounding when it was a beauty company. I'm like, oh, because it's it looks like the same name, and then I was like all thinking this other company, the one that's filing the complaint, is they're going to get a little boost in sales because people are going to be buying the wrong thing. So I can see their the whole brand confusion thing,
Confusion. Yeah, you got
but
it.
but at the same point, I think that Kim Kardashian though has got some cash, and she's really smart to file all those multiple trademarks. I think we were talking another thing about these trademark cases and like why they wouldn't. Was who are we talking about? Bieber, Justin Bieber's wife, Hailey Bieber, and we were talking about how um, she didn't maybe not filed, all the different things, or why they wouldn't file all the different uses of the name for it. And it looked like Kim had done that since she'd filed all those different things, probably covered
Yeah,
clothing.
and without going through each of them, so you saw there was like 20 plus applications. It's because each application is, hey, I'm using the name, or I'm gonna use the name. You can do an intent to use in association with skin products, in association with towels, in association with pens. So each one of those things has to have a different application. So that's why you see so many. Winston has a question. Aren't there a lot of trademark squatters and they end up losing when they prove use of the trademark? Yeah, so a lot of people do this with websites. They'll go and buy domain names, and I spoke with someone who bought the domain name. I think it was like covid.com and then like birdflu.com. So he owned these domains, and so when these things happened, he got a lot of backlash for basically selling them then for like hundreds of thousands of dollars to the government. So it's a thing. As far as trademarks, that's a different kind of thing. You have to actually show and prove your uses if they're disputed. But good question. Now I'm seeing there's some breaking news coming in. What's going on?
Yeah, no, Travis Barker looks like he has just been admitted to the hospital. Let me see if I can share this on screen. This is just happening. I saw somebody said something in the chat, and I was like, let me see what happened here. So let me pull up this article here because I want to. This is
Travis
coming
Barker
in.
hospitalized in LA. Courtney, their daughter, asks for prayers.
Yeah, so it
Okay.
looks like the update is at 5:14. Travis's medical emergency is starting to sound more serious because his daughter is asking for prayers. Alabama Barker took to social media after her dad was hospitalized and asked for folks to send prayers to Travis. Unfortunately, the in sickness part of Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker vows are already coming into play. The drummer's just hospitalized with his new wife by his side. Barker and Courtney first showed up to the hospital Tuesday morning for a health issue he was experiencing. The medical crew at West Hills felt he needed additional care. He was taken in an ambulance. That's him being rushed in. You see, there's Courtney.
Yeah, and then that
Um,
God Save Me, that's from this morning at 10:45 a.m.
It's currently unclear what his condition is or what the medical emergency is that brought him there. But during the ordeal, he tweeted, "Yeah, God save me." Like, wow, this is hitting. Of course, the health scare comes in just a month after the two swap vows during a multi-day ceremony in Italy, surrounded by the closest friends and family. Get well soon, Travis. Absolutely. Wow.
It's
This
funny, I
is
right before we started, I was prepping the TMZ video that we watched for Britney Spears on the last segment, and there was a commercial that was being served for Machine Gun Kelly, and it was basically like, the behind the scenes, showing a different side of him, but
right.
Travis Barker being, in the live performance shots, that's really sad. He
No,
is
I
such a
mean, he's a
staple in
legend. He is a
music.
legend. Blink
Yeah.
182, all of his other side projects. I mean, he's literally, he's worked with Pharrell Williams. He's worked with, that Willow Smith, what is it, the
He's
Mirror
just
song that just like it's just amazing on that song.
But he did a
Did
bunch of
Miley.
songs with, Avril Lavigne too.
Avril, right? Like, I mean,
Mhm.
like the guy is a legend, and it's this guy has been through quite an ordeal. You think about he's been in a plane crash. I remember I was playing a concert. It was actually when we were opened up for the Deftones. We were on the side of the stage during the Deftones when he got in that plane crash that took DJ AM. And
Wow.
it was just this guy. The fact that he not only wow, I mean, this is hitting me right now as we're going through this. Not only did he, survive that and rehabilitate himself, but he even said, I remember reading that, with the love and support from Courtney, that he was able to get back on a plane again. Like, because he wasn't flying, he didn't fly after that, understandably, and she, convinced him to, do this. I mean, he's such an incredible drummer and entrepreneur. I know he has this clothing line, and I'm just off the top of my head just trying to think of just things I think about Travis Barker. But like I hope he's okay because this isn't like a car accident, some kind of medical
Yeah. No,
emergency.
they're just saying, he experienced a health scare, it's a medical emergency. So we don't know, just yet what's
Age
happened,
wise, could
but
be heart attack. It could be anything. It could be anything. He's
yeah.
so I saw that come in. I would be very upset with myself if I didn't try to bring it into the show and at least acknowledge it as it's happening, because yeah, I mean, the guy's a real guy, man. That guy's a real dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, he's a legend. So we'll be sure to follow this guy, so check back on our show on Friday at 7 p.m.
Yeah, we'll try to
PST.
have an update for you.
Yeah,
But
we'll
love.
All right, so let's get back to it. So we had a quick update. So Rammstein, I don't know who's a fan of Rammstein, but I certainly am. And like in just my youth, growing up, and just being so influenced from their stage performance, their performance art in general, pyrotechnics, and watching documentaries done on them, and
Mm,
interviews talking about the process of being a band that has
mm,
live fire and different things happening. And for example, the lead singer, and how burnt he got because he did not have
right.
proper training, he didn't have proper tech or people to help, and so he got the shit burned out of him, and he's having stuff on his face that's blowing out. So let's talk about this for a second. So there's a very loud concert. I think this was in the UK.
Yeah, no, this is crazy. And just to tag on to your Rammstein thing, like that was a band, especially in my teenage years, that I got really into. They fell right in line. I mean, I'm wearing a Nine Inch Nails shirt. I mean, they fall right in line with a lot of these bands could play together.
Yeah.
And especially I really liked like bands like KMFDM and that kind of stuff, which Rammstein actually kind of reminded me. They just kind of felt like a heavier KMFDM, especially because they would say their name a lot in their songs, and
Mhm.
KMFDM does too. But no, they are in a crazy intense band, and whenever we see them or watch their stuff, I'm just like, oh my gosh, the liability that these guys might have. I'll pull some of their stuff on the screen if you want to see.
Yeah,
with
just
some of
kind of
this
have it playing as we're chatting. But anyway, so they do this concert, and I guess people from like 11 miles away could hear it because it was so loud. And the amazing thing here is obviously
amazing.
fire, fire, fire. And they finally like disclosed how much fuel is used per show, and it is 200 and I think it was 30
Yeah, something like that.
gallons
Yeah.
of fuel is used for their show, which is incredible. I mean, look at that. It's amazing because they're doing a lot of their, obviously the old record, a lot of the hits, which everyone wants to hear. I mean, look at that audience.
No, their shows are always packed. I mean, like, look at this. Like, my man's got like flamethrowers and chain. Like, it's insane. Like, they're just shooting it out of their hands and their guitars, and I'm just like, I worry with the liability. This stuff just, I'm a big safety
Mhm.
guy. I'm a big safety guy, and I'm just terrified. Just one day, just a bad accident's gonna happen or an explosion one day, and it's just gonna be tragic. But it does look very cool. But I mean, wow! Like it's spectacular how dangerous and how just over the years how much bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger the shows go. But the fact that they are still rocking it loud. I mean, they got like 1,000 members in that band, so it's no surprise between the fireworks, explosions, and multiple guitars that it's not registering to the next city.
Yeah, no, they're the best.
Look at that.
I probably don't know. I don't think any of us completely know all of the lyrics as well as we probably should to be singing along. But it was reported specifically that they use roughly 265 gallons of fuel to make
Oh,
their flaming stage show come to life. And then they went on to talk about how they're continuously searching for new technologies to take their fiery stage show to new heights. In the prep of a tour, we sit and exchange all the ideas beforehand and we go to test, and it's been prototyped and built beforehand. I imagine for the liability that they do a lot of tests.
look at that. That is insane. And like they're on stage playing, like the amount of heat that they have to feel all the time, and all the times that they've been burnt, and all the times
Yeah.
that they've just been. I mean, you're like, here we got this new prototype of this rocket launcher flamethrower thing, and it's like, you want to be like the first guy to test that thing.
You
I'm
know
not
what?
pulling.
Jen makes a good point. Fuel is not cheap. So I mean, look, that's a very
Good
good point.
point.
And as far as these artists who will go and just dump a bunch of money into their live shows, I think Rammstein is probably one of those bands.
But I mean, but you saw how many people were there.
Yeah.
They're buying tickets. They're selling tickets. They're not worried about it. This isn't like a festival show. They're here to see. They're here to see them.
All right, moving on. Our last story tonight. Amazon's Alexa could mimic voices of dead loved ones, enslaving them as digital assistants. We want to make the we want to make the memories last. And with these chilling words, Amazon is announcing that they have this new frontier that obviously is not a thing just yet, but it's potentially going to be a thing. But basically, that Alexa is now capable of mimicking someone's voice after only having about all it needs is 1 minute of audio. And then from that, obviously, can dissect and come up now to be able to mimic that person's voice. And so, in like a presentation on it, I guess there was a kid, and the kid was like, I want to hear my grandma's voice. I want to hear my grandma say a story to me or finish the story. And so then Alexa was able to tell the story in grandma's voice. So give me a quick shout out from the comments. Are you guys like on board with this? Do you think it's cool? That Orko, you go first.
This is terrifying to me. But I mean, like, it's where we've been going. I mean, with the deep fake technology and stuff, I know we've released a lot of fun videos of deep fakes from these apps, even with you. And they're just getting better and better. Technology's getting better and better. Whenever I hear stuff like this, I just see danger. I just see it being abused, like, you're mimicking voices to get like passcodes and stuff, or you're using voice recognition to get into certain things, or you're typing in stuff in Alexa, or having Alexa have say stuff to you in somebody else's voice, and it's like, so you're just making phone calls, or everything just getting doctored. There's just too much. There's just too much to manipulate and to misuse sounding
Yeah,
to
I
me.
mean, your wife called the bank to transfer all the money, you
Right,
know.
right, 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 right. Exactly, exactly, exactly.
Okay,
So,
okay, okay. So let's go to the chat really fast. Travis says all the nope, that would be terrifying. Jen says nope. All right, guys, I'm gonna
yeah,
be devil's advocate here. I say yes. I say obviously there has to be all kinds of informed consent because you have issues of people's likeness. If they didn't say yes, if they didn't say that this is something the family, the estate could do, hell no. However, I was thinking about it. I'm like, my mom and her voice just means so much to me. She sang to me when I was growing up. And so when I was really little, hearing her voice was so comforting and just like, even in my adult years could probably bring me to tears. I love her voice. And so in my twisted kind of way, I would love to have like my mom with me if she ever passes, it's not going to happen, but did like have her in the car or on the
yeah,
phone.
no, but you're
I'm
talking
kind of
about
into it.
You're talking like Dark Mirror episode type stuff where like I think that was a Dark Mirror episode where like she took the artificial version of her dead boyfriend around or something like that with her, and then they're having a conversation. That seems like it's just gonna have some deep psychological issues for yourself if you're sitting there having conversations with your dead mother via Alexa. So I don't know. I'm always with the whole,
I'll
which is an
talk to my
interesting.
psychologist about it, okay? I just want the option with mother's
So
consent.
my suggestion and something that I always think about doing but never doing, and I'll take it to a little side here. We never know when we're gonna die, right? Oh, so deep. Um, I always feel like I listen to Howard Stern, and Howard Stern talked about him and his family. He recorded a video for his parents, so his video could see it, and he wanted it for his kids and stuff like that. So he wanted to make sure that he would tell the story of himself and just all that kind of memories and just all that kind of, and interviewing his parents for the video and all kinds of things like that. And I think that is something that everyone should kind of do, is just kind of put themselves on tape telling their life story, something that they can leave to their kids, some nice kind of feelings, like I don't know, I think that seems a little more whatever than if I was driving the car and then I hear my mom go, "You're driving too fast." I don't need all that. I don't need that. Turn off the lights, you're wasting electricity. No.
But I think from a legal standpoint, that's very funny. I think from a legal standpoint, though, or my voice, I'm like the refrigerator. What you doing? You getting
Yeah,
that
right.
carb?
Right,
Is
right.
that good for your pre-diabetes?
Yeah, no more
No,
carbs.
from a legal standpoint, the issues of just likeness are the biggest thing. Your voice is your likeness, and so there's consent issues, but I think it could be abused. I think that's probably the biggest thing because now a lot of companies have verbal authorizations, right? I think it's also even my bank. I think my bank has this option for when I call in and it recognizes. So I mean, it's real
Listen,
stuff.
right, but I mean, but you're talking about like, consent and stuff like that, and I'm just
Hey,
saying like that's very
I mean,
that's
that's our
very
music, right? Sorry, I'm cutting you off, but isn't that the point of our music, right? The legacy. You are leaving your voice and your imprint on the world. Come on, we're getting so deep in this segment.
but that's
All right, sorry. But
it's already gonna be abused because you're not gonna be able to control that. I mean, I'm thinking about like the deep fake apps, you know what I mean, where we're putting your face instead of She-Hulk or all
right,
these other kind of things, and it's like, how long
right.
before those apps are all shut down using copyrighted fucking gifs
I'm
for
so
their
I'm look,
videos
we get away. I'm gonna pull this up if I can find it. So
to write it
that
out?
Orko put my face on what's the app called? I know there's a bunch of them, but
I think like Reface or something like that.
yeah, so you take your face and then it superimposes it on like popular movies. All right, so here it is. I'll share it really fast.
Yeah, no, this is fun.
All right, so then we did a cute little video, and like so you put my face on Mrs. Smith, and so it's like if I was an actress, which one should I be? And,
These are so good.
that's it's meant for
They do so
parody.
good.
It's
It's
meant for
so
parody,
good though.
so we're okay to do this because, it's essentially a joke, but, obviously, technology is so good that sometimes people don't know, and then
I
you end up on adult websites, and some terrible things
For
can happen.
sure. Well, no, keep this up because I think
What did
this
you
just
vote for, by the way, that Orko, on which one I should be?
um I think the Elle Woods one is funny. But oh yeah, I like the Princess Leia. I'm all, I'm your stereotypical Princess
Princess
Leia
Leia
kind of guy.
and then,
Oh,
Mrs. Smith.
I like that one. I like the Miss Crystal one.
Oh, there
No,
you
but
go.
no, but to your point, like, and what I was saying, like, they're so good. That's just a phone app that can do that. And so like that's just, app that can work on your phone. These aren't, people's, high capacity computers and programs that are really, getting in there and doing it. So I think that, it's all kind of dangerous, but the world's dangerous. We're always heading for hell in a handbasket. So, whatever. Just more.
That was a great video. Yeah, no, we got to do 2.0.
So
This
much
is also
funner.
on your to-do list. You're supposed to get me
I have
more.
so many that I haven't, and I'm paying for this app too. I pay for it monthly.
Oh, do you
So
really?
yeah, so I cannot get the watermark. So they're just charging me. I have a whole bunch more on my phone. I just haven't sent it to her.
You're addicted.
No, it was
All right, so
fun.
Nick on Facebook, that was excellent. What you did with that, you're actually an improvement. Oh,
I
that's
think
very nice.
so.
Stop
I
it.
think so.
Stop it. All right, so what was the segment again? We're so off topic.
Amazon.
So
Well, I
yeah,
mean, no, it's not.
Alexa.
It's on topic. It's on topic. It's
All
all
right,
about
so
just.
so bringing it back around, my vote is I think this is interesting. I'm not X-ing it, but it's literally just me. So far, it's been everyone saying absolutely no, but I'm gonna be the minority, group here,
Yeah, no,
group
you
of
can't.
one.
Well, they have. Have you seen those other apps that have where they take a photo of like your dead grandparent or your dead parent, and then like they animate it for like 5 seconds, so like it's a still photo, and
Yeah,
then all of a sudden
yeah.
it's like all.
Yeah, I mean, even for animals, I've seen all kinds of things. Obviously on the softer end, it's like they'll not just stuff it, but they'll create like a replica, a very
Right.
close replica of your animal, so you're not actually like stuffing the corpse or whatever that is. It's just probably not our thing, but they're coming up with ways so that we can feel connected after the fact, which I think you probably want to talk to your therapist about and the implications of doing that. But like, I don't know about you, but man, it's I'm not gonna deal with any of that stuff very well, nor have I.
No. So, just reminding everybody that's still here, I forgot to mention this when I first came on, but we've been showing music videos lately at the end of our streams, and we have a really fun one, a fun cover song booth video that we want
Yeah,
to show you at the end of this. So make sure you're sticking around for after the show for that music video of us doing a dark pop version of a popular song.
that's
We're like
right.
the Kelly Clarkson karaoke. We're Krystle Oki,
Or Crystal
right?
Oaking it. We all need therapy. That's right, Winston. That should be my what I did this week, to be superhuman. I'll be like, I got therapy. I did all the awful things that are coming out. All right, so we are gonna watch that. I guess any other things that we want to cover that Orko. Let's just switch it
That's
over.
it. Just but just really, just my thoughts are definitely going to Travis Barker right now, and we hope that I hope that he's doing really well. We hope that he's doing well, and just keep it locked. We'll be back here on Friday, so make sure that you come take a look at that kind of action. All right, later, guys. Peace.
All right, guys. So if you haven't seen already from all of our social media reposting, you can follow on Top Music Attorney and Miss Krystle Live. It's different stuff going up everywhere. So just kind of follow us. That Orko, of course, you can follow him at that Orko. And we're working on the new music, right? So we are going to plug that video. This is a fun one. I'll just tell you. So we did Bye 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 by NSYNC, but I'm a dark pop artist, and so I put a spin of dark pop and we do on all of the covers. So they're very different. And this one was exclusively released on YouTube. So you guys will be able to hear it here. So that Orko, when you're ready, go ahead and hit it. But guys, thank you for being here. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys on the Friday show at 7 p.m. PST, 10 p.m. EST. I'm Top Music Attorney, Miss Krystle. Let's do it.
I'm doing this tonight. You're probably gonna start a fight. I know this can't be right. Hey baby, come on. I loved you endlessly when you weren't there for me. So now it's time to leave and make it alone. I know that I can take no more. It ain't no lie. I wanna see you out that door, baby. Bye, bye, bye. Just wanna be a fool for you. Just another player in your game for two. bye, bye, bye.